You know what you came here for. Sit back and tune in for Isha to Lord. Yeah, yeah.
Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you, this is a very interesting video. There's going to be 5 different ways to apply polygel to your nails, right? So we're going to be doing dual forms, nail tips, the Lazy Girl Femi Beauty method, and the regular way. Okay, and I'm going to be telling you my pros and cons at the very end of this video and throughout the video. So just watch the whole thing to see which technique is actually better and which one's worse. In my opinion, this is all my opinion. Feel free to chime in the comments below per usual. I'm also going to be showing you techniques of each one. So, very informative video.
So, I wanted to actually start off by showing you guys how I made the color that I'm going to be rocking in this video. You can make any type of color polygel that you want. You don't always have to buy it. So I ended up using some clear Makarrt polygel, and then I got some pigment powder from Amazon. You could check my Amazon links per usual. And I just put like a whole bunch of white, blue, yellow, green, and it came out to be like a tealy color. And then I ended up putting some white polish from my favorite brand, Emily, again from Amazon, to make that mint green color. So be sure to watch every single part of this video because each single finger is different. Okay, so the thumbnail, we're going to be doing polygel application using dual forms. This is usually the one that everyone knows. The pointer finger is going to be with a regular tip. This was the first method that I did. So it's going to be with a tip. The middle finger is going to be the Lazy Girl method, which is the Femi Beauty way of applying tips. So I'm going to be using my Kiara Sky jelly tips per usual in Coffin Long. I went a size up just because that's recommended for the Lazy Girl method. For the ring finger, we're going to be doing the regular way. So again, I'm going to be using my Kiara Sky one for this. And lastly, the pinky is going to be with nail forms. I've never used nail forms, so this is going to be super interesting to do. But I do see this method a lot with polygel. So again, 5 different ways of doing this. So let's just get started, y'all, because this is going to be a lot. All right, so for all of these methods, you definitely need a polygel brush. So I highly recommend this one or from Makartt. They usually come in different sets. Along with a Flash Cure LED lamp. You can use the one by Kiara Sky or a basic flashlight, which you could get from Amazon. Either one will work. Didn't show this in the video, but my nails already prepped and primed and dehydrated, and I will be only applying the Makarrt base coat gel on my thumb, which is for the dual forms, and on my middle finger, which is the Lazy Girl Femi Girl method. Each of these nails have a different prep, so definitely pay attention to this in the video and listen. They're all different for sure. Okay, so I'm going to be using my custom color polygel. Again, you know, when you buy them from Makartt or Amazon, they usually come in a tube. So that will be a bit of a difference of my consistency of my polygel. I found this to be a lot smoother. You're basically putting in the polygel into the form and building up the nail. So the thing about doing it this way is knowing the right amount to put in the dual form, because this is literally your nail. Like, you're forming the whole nail with the polygel. So knowing the right amount is crucial, or you'll have a thick nail or a very thin nail. I don't use slip solution that comes with the kits or alcohol. I find that they cause air bubbles for me. So instead, I use base coat, which comes in the kit, and what you see me use earlier, just because it makes the polygel kind of like slip around easier. It's less sticky. Like you can see right here, it's very sticky. And when you're applying polygel, you're doing a tapping and a smoothing motion. Every consistency of polygel is a little bit different, and I found this one to be very smooth. So I was doing more sliding than tapping, but that's usually the motion that you do. Okay, baby girl, next you just apply that thing to your nail. Just line it up. Make sure the underside hasn't spilled out. Clean up the around the nail as well. And then cure it. I cured it for about 60 seconds, and I flipped it over and netted 60 seconds again, underside. And with dual forms, you are taking the dual form off of your nail, so you just wiggle it back and forth until you hear a little pop. and then it comes right off, and this is what this nail is looking like. I have tons of things to clean up around, you know, the cuticle area. To me, it looks a little thin, so I was like, but you know, with some filing and some zhuzhing up, it might be fine. So yeah, this is the dual form way. The second method is going to be applying tips and then putting the polygel over it. Now, with the tips, I'm actually going to be using base coat to apply the tips, not glue. I do not use glue on my nails, and base coat is going to cure the nail tip onto your nail. I kid you not, it works perfectly, baby girl, and I love it. So make sure you rough up your nails though, because this has no product on it. So take the shine off of your nail for the base coat to cure to your nail. And then just like you would with glue, apply your base coat. This is the one by Makarrt, onto your nail tip. And I have a coupon code from Makarrt, by the way, because that's basically all I use. And then apply the nail tip to your nail as usual. And I find using the Kiara Sky lamp to be easier to kind of like, you know, cure this on. But you can use your flashlight. You could use whatever method is best for you. And it's cured on, baby girl. Now that the tip is applied, just use your hand file and blend the tip into your nail. You know you see this at the nail salon. They do this all the time. And then I'm going to apply the base coat on the whole nail just so the polygel have a smooth surface to adhere to. Cure for 30 seconds. So I made another custom color. This is a milky white polygel. I just used a milky white nail polish mixed with clear polygel from Makarrt. And I'm just going to start off with applying this in the middle of my nail. So a lot of people start at their cuticle, but I find that I have more control if I start in the middle when my apex is, basically where the fake nail and my real nail meets. Just because I have more control, for one, it builds that strength and it doesn't flood the cuticle and make it look super bulky. I mean, hold up. You could call me on my bluff. I ain't coming to wait up. You won't miss this body. So I did cure the first layer first, and then now I'm going to be applying more towards the cuticle area, kind of building that apex. Basically, that little hump that you see in your nail, that natural curve, is what I'm building. Now, that's one of the things with applying a tip, is that you have to kind of build that up. Unlike a, you know, Kiara Sky jelly tip or a Prey jelly tip, you have to build this up yourself. Okay, so next is the Femi Beauty Lazy Girl method. So we are using the Kiara Sky jelly tip, and I'm going to be applying some base coat gel inside of the nail because we are actually decorating the nails from underside. This is the method that, this is what you do. So I have some glitters and some butterflies, so I'm just going to apply that however I see fit. So just keep in mind that you're applying things to be seen in the front. So you're working underneath, and then, yeah. And then I'm just going to flash cure it using the flashlight from Amazon. Everything's in the Amazon store. And I will seal it all in by using my Makarrt Clear Polygel. And that's where you kind of, one, build up the strength, but two, also create a surface for it to adhere to your nail. So it's kind of like a dual form in a sense. This is what she created, Femi Beauty, here on YouTube. She was like, how can I create a system where you're building up the nail with a polygel, but you're keeping the form on? So you're keeping the nail tip on, and this is essentially what the Lazy Girl / Femi Beauty method is. So are you still with me? So in the beginning, remember when we applied base coat gel to my thumb and my middle finger? This is not my middle finger. So you'll just apply the nail with the polygel uncured onto your nail, making sure it's straight and everything. So it's just like your dual form in the beginning with my thumb. And then you cure it using the Kiara Sky lamp, which makes things 10 times easier. And then that's it. You leave this nail on because it's done. It's done, sis. It's done. Okay, so next is the ring finger, which is the original way of applying polygel, or at least to me, which is just over a tip. So I'm using the Kiara Sky jelly tips, which already have the strength there, but this is usually when you're using it for a more flimsy tip or something like that, where you have to kind of build the strength, or it's to apply the color, because you know polygel is a color. So for this method, for the sake of time, I just apply the jelly tip like I normally would. I do have other videos of how I apply it, so you can check that out. And then I put a base coat all over the nail tip, and then I'm just applying the polygel per usual, tapping motions. I'm not really building the strength here, I'm just building the color. So that's usually what this method is for, in my opinion. Not too difficult, it's just time consuming. Cool, child. The last finger is the nail forms, which I've never used nail forms a day in my life. So I had to just pretend I knew what I was doing by putting the sticker on the back of it and putting it on my finger, which took about a good 25 minutes to just get straight. I think my pinky finger is a little bit crooked. I don't know, child. But it's on. And we're just going to apply this polygel onto this nail. And yeah. So I kind of applied this the way I did the nail tip, where I started in the middle just because I felt like that made sense, and I'm trying to form the shape of a nail. So this is what you're really creating the nail from scratch, girl, like scratch. So I had to really figure out the length, the density, the width, the diameter. Like it was like math class, child. And my issue was that the dual form kept sliding off my fingers. I don't know if I didn't have it on tight enough, or I don't know, but it kept moving around, so that was actually kind of annoying. So after I kind of got the basis of the shape right here, I ended up curing it, and then I took off the nail form, and it wasn't cured all the way, which I kind of figured, because how would it cure through the nail form? So then I cured it again, and then I applied more. This finger gave me so many issues. I don't even know why. It just wouldn't cure all the way. I really don't know why though. On the two nails where I applied that milky white color, I'm going to be using that Makarrt Sweet Cravings ink polishes just to quickly do some marble tie-dye type of thing. Okay, so this is what the nails are looking like. For the sake of the video, I kind of removed all the filing and the stone placements and everything. But I added a huge butterfly to my nail, which I ended up taking off later. But yes, this is what it looks like. What y'all think? It actually looks very spring-like, very fun. If anything, you can't even tell that I did 5 different methods of applying these nails. But which one is my favorite? Which one do I actually like? Let's get into the pros and cons of each of them right now. So the pros of dual forms is that it comes in polygel kits. So you don't have to go out and buy any type of nails, because it usually comes in the kits in Amazon and Makartt, and so on and so forth. So that's good. Another pro is that it's easy to do in terms of applying, because you're essentially coloring the lines, if you will. You're just applying the polygel inside the form and building it up. So it's pretty simple in that regards. Now the cons is that it's very messy. It can get all over the place. It's super hard to kind of hold the dual form sometimes. It can come out too thin or too thick because you're building the whole nail from scratch. So if you are unfamiliar with how much polygel to put into the dual form, it can come out wonky. Number 3 cons is the nail may not cure all the way because you're building the whole nail. That was my issue. I felt like I had the right consistency and the right amount. However, it did not cure in the middle at all, and it was gross. Another con is that it's too much filing and shaping, because I like cotton shaped nails, and dual forms usually don't come in that type of shape. So I have to shape and file way too much to get the shape I want. And lastly, the cuticle area isn't customized because you have that ugly round look that all dual forms have. And my cuticle area is not round, it's more square-like, so it's not customized to me. Pros for using a nail tip with polygel is that the cuticle area looks very flush and looks like acrylic, so it's very neat and put together in my opinion. Number two is that you can do whatever shape and length you want depending on the nail tip that you use, so that makes it very simple. And three, no filing underneath since the polygel isn't underneath the nail, so it's a very easy cleanup in my opinion. Now the cons is only two, is that you have to know how to build the nail from scratch and know how to make the apex and not make the overall nail super thick. And number two, it just takes a long time to do, just because, you know, the nail's not already formed like a jelly tip. The pros of doing the Lazy Girl / Femi Beauty method is that it is easy. It doesn't take much thought or skill to do this method because you're basically filling an already sculpted, already strengthened nail. Number two, you can do any design you want because you're doing it underneath. So it's very simple, very foolproof in my opinion. Number three is there's no filing or shaping because the sculpted nail is already shaped and filed for you, and you're not doing any designs on top to mess up that shape. There's no issues under the nail, again, because it's already smooth. And number five, it is the fastest in my opinion because you're literally doing the design underneath, popping them on, curing it, and you're done. So that's my opinion. And the cons is that if you want to change your colors or designs, you have to remove the whole set, as opposed to filing on top because the design is underneath it. So that's the only con that I have. Pro of using a full cover tip with polygel is number one is that the shape is already there for you, so there's nothing much you really need to build. Number two, you're essentially just painting over the nails, so you're just applying the polygel and following the actual curve and structure of the nail. And three is you can file the nails down and expose your tip for the next set. So you're just filing down the polygel that's already on top of the nail, which is super easy. Now the cons is that it can get bulky very quickly because the tip is already a tip and usually is full cover. So you're kind of putting more strength and more building power on top of a nail that's already built, if that makes sense. And number two is that you may feel it's pointless if you can just put gel polish over the tip as opposed to a whole polygel system, which takes forever. And lastly, the pro of using a nail form is that you're able to customize the cuticle area and the shape and length of your nail, which is cool and all. However, the 50 million cons that I have of using a nail form is that it's honestly the longest way possible of doing your nails. It takes forever. Forever. It is also very messy, especially with polygel because it's very sticky. It's getting onto the nail form. It's getting all over the place. It's just disgusting in my opinion. Number three, it doesn't cure underneath the nail form, so that's an extra step of having to take it off and cure it underneath and making sure it's okay. It's also too much filing and shaping, just because the shape is all over the place and very wonky, so you're really like building that shape. And last, number five, con is you really have to know how to build a nail from scratch. The whole nail, the shape, the apex, everything.
So all in all, my favorite method of polygel will be the Lazy Girl Femi Beauty method, only because it's easier in my opinion. The con outweighs the pros in terms of like I have to take them off to remove a set. I get tired of nails fast anyway, so that's fine with me. But I do recommend that, and I do have a video on how I do the Femi Beauty Lazy Girl method, so you could go ahead and check that out for sure. My next favorite one, I'm just gonna put them in order, is doing nail tip wasn't bad. I don't mind that. I will do that sometimes if I really feel like I want, you know, a different shape or just like that customized, you know, cuticle area. I don't mind doing that for sure. And then of course my regular way of a full cover tip with polygel, that would be if I don't have polygel as a color. I mean if I don't have a gel polish as a color and I have the polygel, sure, I'll do that. Nail forms and dual forms, never again. You'll never see that on my channel. You'll never see it on my hand, so don't ask me. So that's it. Which one do you do, or which one do you plan on doing as well? I will catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my other nail videos. If you have other nail ideas, let me know in the comments below. And yes, bye guys.